Sige, mag-start na ta. Ready na mo? Isa ganing na adri. Ready na mo? Si Honey, Erica, then Catherine, Regine, then Ivy, Pelazar, and then Pisamay. So, ready na mo ha? Start na ta ha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. So, anyway, this meeting naman is recorded. So, the exam you have taken last Monday is on wood seasoning and preservation and forest products utilization and non-timber forest products. So, during the pre-test, yung scores, nasa sa around 60% siguro ang highest. So, medyo gagmay ang scores. That's why you need to listen carefully on the as we discussed this afternoon, the answers sa katong mga questions na inyong na-encounter during the pre-test. And also, by the way, siguro katong previous na exam, katong sa wood anatomy and ito ba to? Wood anatomy, then wood chemistry, then physics, then mechanics. I checked the recorded video nga kato akong i-upload last week. Naka-take man mo tanan, pero dito sa recorded video, gamay ra kayo ang itanaw. So, siguro ang uban, wala na nag-check dito. So, I don't know yun sa nila. Anyway, siguro makita man yun ang answers once mahuman mo og take sa exam. So, the others, wala naman sila nag-check dito sa recorded video. So, but still, I suggest na next time, mag-adtugin mo sa recorded video para at least madungagan og input while you are listening sa answers ninyo sa kining exam. Okay? So, first question kini. So, the scientific name of balimbing. Scientific name of balimbing is, the answer is Averrhoa carambola. So, this question is on non-timber forest products. Okay? So, Averrhoa carambola. Next, it is a tabulation of log volume and given dimensions. Again, it is a tabulation of log volume of given dimensions. So, answer ani? Si Honey.
Log scale, sir.
Log scale? Actually, the correct answer for this one is volume table. It's not a log scale. Okay? The log scale is actually the tool to determine the yield of lumber from a given log. Okay? Yield ni siya. Measure ang log scale is the measure of the yield, the lumber na yield from a given log. For this case, the question is a tabulation of log volume of given dimensions, particularly dimensions of logs, so dimensions of trees. So that is a volume table. Okay? Next, the wood produced by coniferous species is collectively known as, of course, it's very simple question. The answer for this one is softwood. Okay. Resin obtained from the pterocarp species is collectively known as, answer ano eh? Anyone? Erica?
Balaw, sir.
Yep, balaw. Particularly those species from those apitong mga na resin, balaw. Naputoy another group ani, do may damar, katong damar which are from shoria na mga species. So anyway, wala man po other options aside from the balaw. So the correct answer for this question is balaw. Okay? Next, which among the given wood species has bitter taste? Ani? Catherine, Ranara.
Sir.
Which among the given wood species has a bitter taste?
Batino, sir.
Yes, that's correct. That's Batino. Okay. Teak is popular for a fresh beans na smell. Dungon. I forgot the dungon. Pugatpat is a salty na taste. Ang dungon, na po niya specific food na, I think it's a smell. It smells like a leather. Kining dungon. Tama. Batino has bitter taste. Dungo na sa smells like a leather. Thick smells like a fresh beans. Pagat-pat sa salty na taste. Okay? Yan eh. Which among the given wood species smells like fresh beans? Ayan. Lahi na po ng options, no? Dita, tindalo, akle, and bitaog. So the correct answer for this one is tindalo. Okay? Tindalo has the characteristics of having a smell of fresh beans. Next, a lumber sawn in which the wide face is almost at right angle to the annual growth rings. Kasi answer ano eh? Ivy Rose.
Quarter son, sir.
Koratan man to sa imong kuan tingog quarter sawn. Yeah. Correct answer for this question is quarter sawn. Right. Next, a lumber in which the side is almost parallel to the wood raised. Again, lumber in which the side face is almost parallel to the wood raised. Sensor ano rigid. Rigid. Kalunsag? Okay, rigid. Nakada rigid.
Sir. Plain son.
Yeah, answer for this one is plain sawn. Pero ma-imagine ninyo anong ma-figure out ninyo anong plain sawn o quarter sawn ni. Ingon niya dire lumber sawn in which the wide face is almost at right angle to the annual growth rings, and the lumber in which the side face is almost parallel to the wood race. Okay? Imagine niyo nganong matawag ni nato siya og plain sawn ug kini matawag nato og quarter sawn sa ilang mga kalainan. Okay. Hello. Ano ba ko class? Kaya dahil mo maningog. Hello? Hello?
Sir, medyo putol-putol ka sa kuan, sir.
Ay. Kana, putol-putol ko.
Kana, sir. Okay na, sir.
How about ang uman? Dungan kayo?
Okay na, sir.
Okay ra? Sige. Ma-picture out ninyong anong quarter zone, say kalainan sa quarter zone o sa plain zone. Mag-change ko tab ha. Kailangan open ko o plain zone. Okay. Sige, lipat ko diri sa tab. Kana. Kita ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, nanay kalainan nila ha sa plain zone and quarter zone. So, as you can see, if ang first reference na to sa question katong una, a lumber in which the wide face is almost at right angle to the annual growth rings. So, asagay dapit ang annual growth rings. If mao ni mong kahoy, ang imong annual growth rings kanang layer sa early wood and late wood. Okay? Kanang circumferential lines na indicating the late wood and early wood na transition. So, it's almost at the right angle ang pagkakat sa kining lumber. Kung mao ni ang lumber, tanaw nimo halos nag right angle siya sa halos right angle ang mga kitawag ani, naka right angle ang kining mga growth ring. Okay, mo nang ang answer sa katong question, which cut of lumber has almost right angle from the growth ring on the widest side on the widest side sa kada lumber, that is a quarter zone. Now, ang katon namang second question, ingon din to, a lumber zone in which the wide face is a lumber zone in which the side face is almost parallel to the wood race. Okay? Parallel to the wood race. So, if this is your lumber, if this is your log, ang wood race na dito nga direction. Okay, dito nga direction. So, if you check that direction compared to the side face diri niya and the sides diri sa edges, kung dito padulong siya, ang wood race parallel siya sa sides niya diri sa shorter side. If dito padulong ang wood race, then almost parallel siya sa widest side niya sa lumber. So this one is a plain zone. Okay, na ang kalahin na plain zone, and then we have a quarter zone. Na siya. So, I hope na sabtan ko niyo window. Okay, let's go back sa exam. Ha. Sige. Continue na ta. So, katuto siya ha, ang plain zone and then quarter zone na lumber. Sige. Next question. The lumber contents of a log based on a specific log rule. Okay na. The lumber contents of a log based on a specific log rule. Sensor ani May Pelizar.
Log scale, sir.
Yeah, that is a log scale. Okay? The lumber contents of a log based on the log rule. Ito yung ako ganyan. You refer to the lumber yield sa isa ka log using a specific log rule. The log rule refers to the formula na imong ginabasihan to compute the possible yield of lumber from a log. So, that is a log scale. Okay? Next, a fabricated assembly consisting of 2 or more layers of wood in which the grain direction of one is different from the other layer. Sa answer ano Shihani. Uy, nangawa mo ba? Shihani?
Plywood, sir.
Yeah, that's correct. Plywood. Okay? When you say a layer one over the other, a fabricated assembly consisting of 2 or more layers in which the grain direction of one is different from the other. Puro na siya ginani. If this is your first layer, if this is the direction of your grain, then the other layer is on that perpendicular. Okay? Perpendicular. So, inana ang plywood. So, ina na ang plywood. Okay? The grain direction of the next layer is perpendicular. Okay? Perpendicular to the other layers, adjacent na layers. So, the answer for this question is plywood. In veneering, the effective distance between knife and nose bar edges is the resultant of the vertical and horizontal opening called. The answer for this question is nose bar opening. Okay? It's the effective distance between the knife and nose bar edges, resultant of the vertical and horizontal opening. Okay? Next, consists of boards bonded together either in straight or curved form with their grain direction parallel to each other. Parallel ha, remember, parallel to each other. So, say answer ano eh? IB.
Laminated board, sir.
Yeah, correct answer for this question is laminated board. Okay? So parallel ha, parallel to each other. When it's said here that perpendicular, then that's already a plywood. But for this case, that is parallel. So laminated board. So the amount of lumber equal in volume to a board 1 inch thick, 12 inches wide, and 12 inches long, that is equivalent to pila, Regine?
Board foot.
Yeah, that is a 1 board foot. Okay? 1 inch thick, 12 inches wide, and 12 inches long. That is 1 board foot. Next, mold is one of the agents in wood degradation causing discoloration. This is caused by May, Pelazar.
Fungi, sir.
Yeah, correct answer is fungi. Okay? Mold are species of composed of various species of fungi. An extract in the processing of pulping, which is the outcome of the preparation of neutralizing the liquor with lime concentration and separation of organic and inorganic materials which could be used for tanning leather. So, the correct answer for this question is sulfite liquor extract. Okay? Sulfite liquor extract. Okay? It's an extract on the pulping process, which is the outcome of preparation of neutralizing liquor with lime concentration. Okay? A machine which converts sawmill waste not otherwise used, such as slabs, edgings, trimmings, defective boards, and miscuts, into small roughly sized piece to be used for fuel. Sa pangalan sa machine, Shihani.
Wood hub, sir.
Yeah, correct. The correct answer for this question is wood hub. Okay. Wood hub. Next, one of the premium hardwood species commonly used in furniture making and paneling. Although these are, for the case of this question, actually, this one are those types of questions which are actually outdated na right now. But still, since they are found in the reviewers, so and even in the board exams, makita gyapon ni sila nga questions. That's why i-repeat lang gyapon nato ni sila nga mga fun, if possible, basin ma-encounter ninyo in the future na exams. Okay? So, one of the premium hardwood species commonly used in furniture making and paneling. The answer for this question is Nara. Okay, Nara. Although basically, all these species can be processed into furniture, except probably the bakawan is not good for paneling. But before, the most preferred hardwood species for this use is Nara. Okay. Which among the choices is a hardwood species commonly used for matchsticks and chopsticks? Ano eh? Answer ano eh? Regine.
Gubas lang.
Yeah, gubas. The important thing on the important characteristics on species which will be used for matchsticks and chopsticks is that they are highly combustible. Dili mamatay diretso ang flame once mo contact siya of fire, and at the same time soft tissue ang wood niya. Dili siya gahi kayo, lower amount of lignin. So that is a characteristics of a gubas na wood. Observed dimensional changes in wood are unequal along the three structural directions. This phenomenon is an indication that wood is, answer, May, Pirazar.
Anisotropic.
Yeah, wood is anisotropic. Okay, and anisotropic characteristics. Anisotropy meaning the properties of a certain material in various directions has different performance or different results. Okay, so for example, shrinkage. The shrinkage of wood, the longitudinal shrinkage of wood is different from the radial to the tangential na shrinkage. So that's anisotropy. Okay. Next, it is a series of heavy steel links, swivels, and shackles that connects the main line and holdback. This question is on timber harvesting. Okay, this one is a timber harvesting. The answer for this question is butt rigging assembly. Okay, although you have not encountered timber harvesting na topic, even in management or other courses, there are still occurrences of these types of questions in the board exam. That's why still you need to be familiar with these mga terminologies. Okay, a series of heavy steel links, swivels, and shackles that connects the main line and holdback. So that is a butt rigging assembly. Next, the system adapted to swinging from cold decks where swinging distances are too long for a high lead swing, where the swing in downhill or the swing road is over rough or broken terrain. So the answer for this question is skyline. Okay? The answer for this question is skyline. So be familiar with this terminologies. Next, another. In primary log transport, the one responsible for unhooking the turns as they are in and for preparing a safe log deck. The correct answer for this one is chaser. Okay? This one. A log transport system responsible for unhooking the turns as they are in and for preparing a safe log deck. So the correct answer is chaser. Next, a cable system or yarding is commonly used in logging forest areas ranging from level to slopes of up to, correct answer is 50%. Okay, a cable system is actually a type of logging systems, harvesting system. Applied siya with these types of slopes because ang cable system, instead na truck ang mag-transport sa kahoy from the higher elevations going to the compartments or to the what we call as kining mga landing sites kung asa ibutang ang mga logs, instead na truck ang maghauling ang gamiton cables, because it will be more easier and mas economically efficient siya compared with trucks. Okay, so that is applied to slopes ranging from level to slopes up to 50%. A type of road used for skidding or forwarding trails leading from roadside landings back to the stump area. The correct answer for this question is strip roads. Okay, agianan sa mga skidding, meaning murag birahon ang skid, diba? Skid murag birahon lang ang kahoy, or forwarding meaning i-haul yun ang kahoy. So a road used for skidding or forwarding trails landing from roadside landings back to the stump area. So that is the strip roads. Next, a person responsible for the rigging crew, which consists of two or three choker setters and the chasers. So call that one as side supervisor. So next, a wood obtained from the botanical group of trees that have broad leaves is, of course, that is hardwood. Referring to mga hardwood na species, mga angiosperms, mga broadleaf. Bleaching chemical that is harmful to laminated surface and very common as household brand. Okay, so it's a bleaching chemical that is harmful to laminated surface and very common as household brand. Correct answer for this one is hydrogen peroxide. Okay, kailan ba mo agwa oksinada? Say ang hydrogen peroxide gamiton pang limpyo sa banyo. At lower concentration, bleaching man siya, at lower concentration of hydrogen peroxide, Ginagamit kaya siya panlimpyo o samad. Masamaran ta panlimpyo siya sa samad. Palit niya siya sa mercury drug or drugstore kining hydrogen peroxide. It's a bleaching chemical that is harmful to laminated surface. Okay? Pag matuluan ang imong mga furniture ana, mga laminated boards ana so maputi ang imong kahoy. Ina siya effect imong mga furnitures maputi. Next, a hardboard used chiefly as exterior siding. So the correct answer for this one is grooved hardboard. Okay, grooved hardboard. Next, as foresters, what do you think is the main purpose of discovering the economic use of lesser used species in the forest? So answer ani? Erika. So the answer for this question.
Sustainable development through maximization of benefits derived from the forest resources.
Yeah, that's correct. So of course, we need to discover the economic use of other forest products so that we can maximize the benefit from the forest. Okay? Maximization. So a thin sheet of wood sliced or peeled from a log or pitches. Okay, a thin sheet of wood sliced or peeled from a log or pitches. What's the answer for this one? Shihani.
Veneer, sir.
Yeah, the correct answer is veneer. Meron na siya ha. Another, excessive quantity of adhesive will result to poor bond called. Correct answer for this one is uneven drying of adhesive. Okay. Ang starved joints, kining starved joints, meaning wala naka-penetrate dito ang adhesive. But the problem, if excessive po, nasubraan ang pag-apply, this one is on mga production of laminated boards, plywood, ano siya, engineered woods products or mga engineered bamboo products. If uneven ang pag-apply sa adhesive, ang resulta, uneven po ang drying sa adhesive dito sa surface. Na siya impact sa iyang strength properties. Okay? The primary purpose of adding extender in adhesive is for what? Regine.
Reduce cost of doing it.
Answer? Reduce the, yeah, that's the correct answer. You're adding an extender in the adhesive so that you can reduce the cost of limits. As long as if mag-add kag extender, dili pod wala siya dako kayo nga impact sa adhesion na properties sa imong material. If plywood ang gipilit, usually ang plywood gagamit og urea formaldehyde nga glue. So butangan og extender para mogamay ang imong use of urea formaldehyde pero wala siya impact sa iyang adhesive na property. So you're just trying to reduce the cost. People living in developed country are very much health conscious. That is why blank is very much accepted. Correct answer for this one is herbal medicine. This question is on non-timber forest products. Okay? A type of panels made from finely ground wood pulp held together with a binding agent and tightly compressed. The density is far less than that of either particle board or hardboard. So answer ani? Ivy.
Soft board, sir.
Correct answer is a soft board. Okay. Type of panel finely ground wood ha. Finely ground wood pulp held together with a binding agent and tightly compressed. Okay. Muranig ka ng particle boards. So they can be considered as soft boards. So in chemical treatment of wood, what part of the wood could easily be treated? Sa heartwood, centerwood, sapwood, tracheal part of the wood. So the answer for this one is sapwood. Okay? Mas easier ang penetration sa preservative in the sapwood, considering that active pa ang mga cells. Usually in the heartwood, decayed na ang cells and taas ang extractive content. So that's why mas easier i-treat ang sapwood. Quarter sawn lumber has rings at angles blank with a wide surface of the board. Quarter sawn has rings at angles blank with a wide surface of the board. The answer is 45 to 90 degrees. Related ni katong question ganiya. Na ang question, a type of lumber cut wherein the wider side is almost right at the right angle. Noting on gani, at the right angle of the wide face of the board. So, kini quarter zone lumber that has rings at angles around 40 to 90, 45 to 90, those almost that's right angle. 90 degrees is right angle. So with a wide surface on the board. As applied to lumber, the size by which allowance for shrinkage is given. So the correct answer for this one is oversize. Okay, since you are providing the allowance. Okay, it's oversize. Next, medium and moderately high specific gravity woods are the most preferred wood for medium and moderately high specific gravity woods. That is for furniture. Okay, kining mga mine timber, poles and piles, and then runway tiles, ang required ani is katong very high specific gravity nga mga wood. Like for example, mulave. So dito sila preferred, mga heavy duty nga mga purpose. Okay? But for furniture, you can use medium to moderately high specific gravity wood. Next, particle board and medium density fiberboard are manufactured by using a mill waste such as wood chips, splinters, flakes, and screened sawdust, driftwood. So the correct answer for this question is kining 1, 2, and 3. Okay? You can manufacture a fiberboard from wood chips, from splinters, from flakes, and screened na sawdust, but not on driftwood. Okay? Lahi ng driftwood na furniture. Which of these factors have least influence in the impregnation of timber by preservative? Okay, the question is which of these factors have least influence in the penetration of timber, in the impregnation of timber by preservative? Species, anatomy, preservative use, preparation of timber. Answer. What's the answer for this one? Eleazar.
Preparation of timber, sir.
Yeah, that is correct. Preparation of timber. Wala na siya influence on the impregnation of preservative. Species, of course, na. There's other species nga lisod mag-apply og preservative. Nato ibang dali lang. Anatomy, of course. Okay? Type of kanang the vessel. Abundance of vessel, mga inana. Preservative use, of course. So, na siya intact. Next. In a glue mix, there are usually inert or relatively non-adhesive substances added to the adhesive to improve its working properties, permanence, strength, and other qualities. Again, in a glue mix, these are usually inert, meaning non-reactive siya, inert or relatively non-adhesive substance added to the adhesive to improve its working properties, permanence, strength, and other qualities. The correct answer for this one is fillers. Okay? Fillers ang tawag niya. Next, the extractable material in certain plants having an ability to convert hide into leather. So, believe kabalo mo sa answer aning. The answer is tannin. Okay? As a leathering na properties. Tannin. Next, these are living organisms belonging to mollusks and crustaceans which inhabit salt and brackish water and inflict extensive damage on submerged wooden structures or those exposed to low tide. So, ang answer ano eh? Erika.
Marine borers.
Yeah, that's correct. Marine borers. Next, which of the following species produces the hardest and heaviest wood? So, klaro man siguro ni. So, we have Santos Timon Verdugoñanos or Mangkono. It is a lumber that has been surfaced by a planing machine for purpose of attaining smoothness of surfaces and uniformity of size on one edge or a combination of sides and edges. Sa tawag ani. IB.
Dress lumber, sir.
That is a dressed lumber. Okay? Meaning, surfaced by planing machines for attaining the smoothness of surfaces and uniformity of size. Dressed lumber na ang tawagan na. Okay, gi-prepare na gid siya for final na finishing. So we call that one as dressed lumber. An edged lumber produced from log which has been sawn without passing through the edger and stickered back into its original form. unsay term ani, unsay answer ani. Siya ni.
Bowl, sir.
Yeah, that is correct. The bowl is the answer is bowl. Okay? And an edge lumber produced from a log which has been sewn without passing through the edger and stickered back into its original form. So that is a bowl. Next, the presence of this in wood causes deleterious effect on working tools. What is the answer? Regine. The presence of this in wood causes deleterious effect on working tools. Sa answer niya? Eugene?
Silica.
Yeah, the answer for this question is silica. Lumber cut so that the wide face of the board is principally radial. Okay, the wide face. Yeah, silica. So the lumber cut so that the wide face of the board.
Silica, sir.
Yeah, silica. Okay na, Regine. Next.
Silica.
Regine, okay na ka diya, Regine?
Hinay among signal, sir.
Yeah, sige, okay lang. Continue na ko ha. Erika, okay na mo? Shani? May?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hinay ang signal, sir.
Sige lang. Anyway, basta maski maulahi siya, at least mo load mo gid. Okay? Next, a lumber cut so that the wide face of the board is principally radial. It's called quarter sawn. Okay? The wide face of the board is principally radial. So that is a quarter sawn lumber. Kita man siya mo atong kaganihan. So, katong murag nag-slant pagka-cut ang mga lumber. So, ang direction sa wide ang kung tanaw nimo ang wide side ato, itong mas lapad nga side, ang direction ato niya is radial. Okay? Next. A lumber cut so that the wide face of the board is tangential. It's called kini is a plane sawn. Okay? Ang wide side is tangential. Same sa katong kita nyo ganyan nga plane sawn. When a log scale exceeds the lumber output, it is said to be that is an underrun. Okay, underrun ni siya ha. Ang log scale nimo, meaning ang imong estimate mas taas kaysa sa lumber output. Meaning ang resulta na ano nimo na overestimate. So that is an underrun. Overestimate nimo. Abi nimo daghan kag output pero mas taas gamay ra day kag output. So mas taas ang imong log scale compared sa imong actual na lumber output. That is an underrun. Ang opposite ana niya is overrun. Okay? Pag overrun siya, mas taas ang imong lumber output compared sa imong log scale. Next, a measure of round wood stock at 1.2 by 1.2 by 2.4 meter. That is a standard cord. Okay, that's one cord. The actual nga kuan sa cord is on foot. Okay, foot din na siya ang cord. Ang katong naka meter talaksan, but gi-convert lang ni siya. So ang 1.2 meter 0.2 meter to foot. So 3 around 3.9. So ano to? Wala man. Yan. So ang typical nga kuan ani is around 3.9 by 3.9 to 2.4. 2.4. So that's around 4 sa actual nga kuan sa cord, that is 4 by 4 by 8. Okay? 4 by 4 by 8 na dimension. 4 by 4 by 8 foot ha. 4 by 4 by 8 feet. So that is a standard cord, which is equivalent to 1.2 by 1.2 by 2.4 meters. Next, one of the use of sulfate liquor in the process of peeling is it can be used for tanning leather. Okay, use sulfate liquor in the process of peeling can be also used as for tanning leather. Next, a pulping process which subject the chipwood laterally question mark nito. Next, a pulping process which subject the chipwood laterally against a revolving grindstone that reduces the chips to a fibrous mass, which after screening and thickening is converted into pulp products. Again, a pulping process which subject the chipwood laterally against a revolving grindstone that reduces the chips to a fibrous mass, which after screening and thickening is converted into pulp products. Sa answer ano? No, Erica.
Sulfate process, sir.
Actually, no. The correct answer for this one is mechanical process. Ano mechanical? It uses a revolving na grindstone. Okay? Ang gamit niya sa pag-produce og pulp is revolving grindstone instead of chemical. Pag alkaline process or sulfate process or kining soda process is similar to alkaline process. Sometimes called a craft pulping process kini sila. It uses chemical ni chemical process. Kini is a mechanical process. Ang gamit ani itong question is only revolving grindstone without the use of any other chemical to produce pulp products. So that is a mechanical process. Next, most particle boards have small quantity of paraffin added during manufacturing process for the purpose of paraffin board. Shahani.
Answer, to serve as moisture retardant.
Yeah, correct. Paraffin serves as a moisture retardant. Saan ang paraffin? Kanabong nas kandila. Ng wax ba? Paraffin wax na nasa kandila. Kanang kandila mismo. So, it can be used as a moisture retardant in the production of particle boards. Next, in a sawmill setup, that part of the carriage used to control the depth cut during sewing. What's the answer? Used to control the depth cut during sewing. Sa answer ani May, Rezar.
Set work, sir.
This is set works. Okay, the answer for this question is set works. Next, all are sources of tannin except one. Answer for this question is agoho. Bakawan, pagatpat, which are both mangrove species, and this kamachiling species has very high amount of tannin. Agoho is not a source of tannin. Fire retardant is a kind of wood treatment purposely to reduce, of course, that's very clear, combustibility of wood. Para dili masunog ang kahoy. To reduce the chances na masunog siya. Cork, or is one of the forest products that is obtained from outer bark of trees under the genera. The quercus na genera, kining quercus na mga plants are famous as a source of cork. Kanang ginagamit nga taklob sa wine. Mga taklob sa wine bitaw, wine bottles. So kanang nga mga cork usual ang famous na sources na kining mga quercus na species. Which among is a modified wood treatment with thermosetting fiber penetrating resin that cured without compression. Okay? The question is that it's a modified wood treatment with thermosetting fiber penetrating resin that cured without compression. The answer for this one is impreg. Okay? It's a type of wood. It's a modified wood treated with thermosetting fiber penetrating resin. That is an impreg. Without compression. Impreg. Next. In lumber grading, cutting units are used in the should be comma here. In lumber grading, cutting units are used in determining the grade of the board. The dimension of a cutting unit is 1 inch wide and 1 foot long. Okay? Muna ang cutting unit ha. 1 inch wide and 1 foot long. That is cutting unit, which used on determining the grade of the board. Para nisa ka ng mga inspection. Okay? Para mag-inspect of quality. Next, common defect found in plywood panels is star glue joint. This is brought by, the answer is excessive flow or rapid penetration of glue into the wood surface. Ang resulta, star joints. Star joints meaning wala kayo nakapenetrate ang glue dito sa certain areas sa plywood. Ang resulta, since wala kayo na atuan siya sa glue or niagi mo ng glue pero nipis ra kayo, wala gid ka totally stay dito para maka-develop og layer ang glue. So ang resulta ana niya mahimo to siya og kining star joint. Dito magsugod ang kanang mga naiga certain gap dito, na hollow, ma-develop nga hollow section, hollow portion dito. And those section will result to dito magsugod ang penetration sa water or dito mabuak or malangkat. Okay, dito masugod ka na malangkat ang plywood. So we call that one as star joints. The cause of that kini excessive flow or rapid penetration of glue into the wood surface. Ma-develop ang mga hollow na section. For exterior or marine plywood, the glue most commonly used is kining synthetic na resin glue. Okay? For exterior and marine plywood, which is highly in contact with water. Okay? Most commonly in contact with water, since resin glue are hydrophobic, so dili maka-penetrate ang water sa iyahan. In glue spreading, glue is applied on what portion of veneer? Face kini other. In glue spreading, glue is applied on what portion of veneer? Saan ni IB?
Both faces of core veneer, sir.
Yeah, that's correct. Both faces of core veneer. Okay? Dili lang kay one side ha. In glue spreading, glue is applied on what portion of veneer? Of course, veneer meaning na siya ibutang sa ibo, ibutang sa ubo. So both sizes of veneer of core veneer ha, core veneer. Katong naa sa tunga. Okay. Next, which of the following statement is true regarding paper making? Evaluate lang natin yung others para basig maka-encounter mo again yung inani na question. So, nanong wrong ni? Okay? The faces of back and face veneers and both faces of the core veneer. This is wrong because dili ni mo butang nga glue ang both faces and back of face veneer. Ano? Ang face veneer mo nang pinakagawas nga veneer. Ang isa ka side mo na mo makita ang tong other side mo tong nipilit sa core veneer. So kung imong butangan og glue ang both faces, then na-glue sa gawas sa imong plywood. So that's wrong. Next, one portion of each face veneer. That's wrong. Dili lang kay ang isa ka face veneer, but instead katong duha ka face veneer ang butangan og glue sa ilang side which is in contact with the core veneer. Dependent on the condition of the prevailing plant, this one is wrong. So both faces of core veneer is the answer. So which of the following statement is true regarding paper making? So the correct answer for this one is the sheet of the paper is formed in the four dryer wire. The four dryer machine is the machine used for paper making. This question is wrong. Paper making operation usually begins with bleaching of the pulp. This one is wrong. Okay? Paper production usually starts with pulping process. Okay? The pulp solution that is placed in the head box contains 70% water and 30% fiber. This one is wrong. Okay? This one is wrong. Decreases the strength of individual fibers. This one is wrong. One of the disadvantages of the occurrence of pith in the paper making is that it clogs, and clogs, filters, and screens. Okay, mo na ang epekto sa kining pith na matrap in the paper making na process. Clog, filters, and screen. Next, the main basis for determining the quality of the solid residue produced during destructive distillation is the fixed carbon content. Asa ni nakitabo ning destructive distillation? Ano maghimog uling carbonization and other terms niya carbonizations na is slow pyrolysis. Other term is pyrolysis, carbonization. Although na ay specific technicalities nga lahi-lahi na sila, but basically almost similar. Maghimog uling. Okay? Destructive distillation in other terms. So, maghimog uling. So, the main basis for determining the quality of solid residue produced during destructive distillation. Okay? Ang output sa destructive distillation is uling. Mao tong ipasabot sa solid residue. For us to know the quality of charcoal, we need to know the amount of kining fixed carbon content because charcoal is a condensed carbon structures. Okay? Carbon na sila. It's a condensed carbon structure. So, the fixed carbon content, the higher the fixed carbon content, the better the quality. Okay? The better the quality sa imong charcoal. Next, dissolving pulp is generally used in the manufacture of answer ani. Correct answer is textile yarns. Okay? Sa din textile yarns. So, for example, kadung na siguro mong viscose rayon, mga viscose rayon, mga synthetic or mga yarns, synthetic yarns. Textile yarns. So, ang ginabuhat ana is that i-dissolve nila ang fibers, i-dissolve nila ang pulp using an acid, most commonly acid or strong na mga alkaline na solutions. I-dissolve nila ang pulp and then ipaagi og machine called as spinneret. Pag-release ato niya, mura siya injection at high pressure, pag-inject ato niya, paggawas ato, ma-develop na din ang mga yarns. Okay? For textile production. One distinct advantage of bandsaw over circular saw is that, of course, bandsaw versus circular saw, kailan naman siguro maninduha. The waste produced in the form of sawdust is comparatively less. Okay? Mas lower ang amount of waste na ma-produce in the use of bandsaw because the saw curve is very thin. Okay? Saw curve niya katong agi sa gabas, nipis kayo. So that's why comparatively less ang waste na ma-produce. Next, one of the characteristics of staining fungi is that they do not seriously affect the bending and compressive strength of the wood. Okay? Mo na siya ang effect lang. Mo na siya ang iyang characteristics. Stains or mga staining fungi, for example sa bamboo popular ang kanang ginatawag og blue stain, which is caused by a fungi, wala siya impact into the strength properties, dili magabok ang imong kawayan, pero mag-cause siya og staining, mancha. Okay, na mancha ang imong product. So, which of the following activities is not component of timber cutting? Felling, measuring, yarding, and limbing. So, yarding. Okay? Yarding. Felling, imo nang giputol. Measuring, isukdan nimo. Limbing, gikuhaan og sanga. Okay? Yarding, kato na ng portion nga imong yarding, imong giguyod padulong sa landing site. Turpentine, secreted by pine trees, is a form of, that is an extractive. Okay? Mga turpentine. So, it's a known extractive which is used for in the production of varnish. Okay? Next, source of dye bark called nige, used for tanning fishnets and clothing. Okay? The species is a source of dye bark called nige, used for tanning fishnets and clothing. The answer is tabige. So, I'm not really familiar with the species na kabigi. Blank is which among the following is an example of wood-boring mollusk? Okay. Marticia, Bankea, Teredo, all of these. All of these are wood-boring na mollusk. Marticia, Bankea, and Teredo. Mollusk meaning they are marine borers. Okay. Next. Can be processed to yield vanillin for flavoring and produce solvents. So the answer is lignin. Lignin is a chemical in wood that can be also used for the production of vanillin for flavoring and solvents. Which among the following is not recommended? Which among the following? Which among the following is not recommended for the treatment of marine piles? The answer is DDT. Sige nga, sabot nga DDT. The problem with the DDT, kining dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane, or DDT in short. The problem with the DDT is that it is soluble in water. So, ang problema na, kung soluble siya sa imong water, tapos i-treat nimo siya sa marine piles, pag lunod sa tubig, so, ma-dissolve ra ang imong chemical, ang imong preservative. So, di siya mapuslan. Okay? Next. Treatment which reduces the combustibility of wood. So, the answer is fire retardant na treatment. Which among the species is a top choice for bowling alleys? The answer is supa. Supa nga kahoy. Next, veneer may be cut in several ways. The most popular method of veneer preparation, accounting for almost 90% of all veneer cut, is which among? The answer. Ivy Rose.
Rotary cutting, sir.
Yeah, rotary cutting using a lathe machine. Okay, using a lathe machine. Kanang almost mga plywood industry na to, ang gamit na nila rotary cutting na mag-develop og veneer. Addition of hydrophobic substance to the pulp to reduce absorbent quality of paper and to produce a smooth surface. We call as capping. Okay? We are adding an hydrophobic substance to the pulp to reduce the absorbent quality of paper to produce a smooth surface. That is capping. Next, an assembly of wood members interconnected to form triangles. What's the answer? Erika.
Porlin, sir.
Yeah, that is purlin. Kanang nasa inyong atop. Kanang assembly. Diba? Kanang assembly. Tanawin mo na sa atop ninyo, mura na siya triangle. So that is purlin. A glue that is poorly bonded because of insufficient quantity of adhesive remained in the joint. So that is star joints. So ganyan. Insufficient quantity of adhesive remained in the joint. So star joints. Lumber cut tangent to the growth rings is known as, okay, that is plain sawn lumber. Tangent to the growth rings. That's a plain sawn lumber. The sheet of wood of uniform thickness usually cut with a lathe machine is called, a sheet of wood uniform thickness usually cut with a lathe machine. It's called, answer, Shani.
Veneer, sir.
Yeah, that is veneer. Okay, veneer, ano siya? The purpose of treating wood with preservative is to, Shani, May, Eleazar.
Increase the service life of wood.
That's correct. You are trying to increase the service life of wood. It does not impact the strength properties, including the finishing characteristics, but it increases the service life by preventing katong mga degradation agents. Hindi points. Wait na ha. 0 point na. Points. 1 point. Maha. Next question. Lumber is graded or inspected as the inspector finds it. So grades are determined on the basis of good side of the piece. So mo na ang basis sa grade determination. Lumber grading. Next, major storage from form. Huh? Major storage form of carbohydrates in plants consisting of alpha D-cellulose units connected in 1-4 linkage, that is starch. The difference with this starch with cellulose is that cellulose is connected by a beta D glucose units, 1-4 beta D glucose units. For you to understand, it's very complex if you explain na to na din. But the answer for this question is starch. Si Ipoy, kabalo na si Ipoy ani. The most preferred species for railroad ties. So, answer is mulabay. Okay? Mga high density, high specific gravity nga mga species like mulabay. They are referred for railroad ties. Which among is a kind of decay where only the cellulose is removed. So, that is a brown rot. Okay? I-remove niya ang cellulose. Ang resulta, ang nabilin is concentration of lignin content. Ang resulta, mag-brown ang kahoy. Brown ang surface sa stem. Brown na murag nabugta. So that is brown rot. Botanically, softwoods are gymnosperms and mostly coniferous. Which among the choices can be used to enhance the natural resistance of wood chemical degradation? Okay, which among the choices can be used to enhance the natural resistance of wood chemical degradation? Viscous coke, oven, coal, tar. Okay, so this is a form of preservative. Okay, this is a form of preservative. Kining coal tar, viscous coke, oven, coal tar. Murag misag kanang kung mo na sa poste, kanang mga karaan nga poste. Kung mo na sila murag ipintal nga itom sa coal tar. So lisod ka na siya ma-attack o mga or even chemical na degradation. Hindi basta-basta madugta or madaot. In woodworking, any substance used to fill the holes and gaps in the planes before applying with coatings. So that is a filler. Okay? Any substance that is used to fill holes and gaps, that is filler. The use of this preservative causes corrosion to metal fasteners. Oil-borne chemicals, DDT, coal tar salt, waterborne salt preservative. The answer is waterborne salt preservative. This question, okay? Mag-cause na siya of corrosion to metal fasteners. Next, which among is an example of fumigants which can arrest decay in poles? Vapam and chloropectin, vapam, none of this. Both vapam and chloropectin. They are example of fumigants which can arrest decay in poles. So this is on wood preservation. Which among is a waterborne preservative? So CCA is a waterborne preservative. Copper chromate arsenate. But actually right now I think this one is restricted na because of a very toxic na chemical. The method of gathering resin from the terrestrial species like a pitong is we call as boxing of the wood. Muna katong murag ilang kalutan ang stem then sunugon. So boxing. Niya. The annual log volume of log input to sustain the operation of a wood processing plant. Okay? The annual log volume of log input to sustain the operation of a wood processing plant. What's the answer, ani? Erika?
Annual log requirement, sir.
Yeah, that's correct. It's an annual log requirement. Next, the basis of grading hardwood lumber under NHALA rules. NHLA is actually a US nga lumber authority. So that is National Hardwood Lumber Association. Actually an American nga lumber association. But mo to murag i-adapt man gud na siya internationally. So their basis of grading hardwood is based on the number and size of defects and standard clear cutting sizes. Okay, number and size of defect and standard clear cutting sizes. Muna ilang basis for grading hardwood lumber. Next, which among the term refers to the grooves or notches made in cutting with a saw? Again, which among the term refers to the grooves or notches made in cutting with a saw? So the answer is very simple, soaker. Atong agi sa gabas. Next, refers to the case with which a species of wood takes in preservative using vacuum or pressure process. Again, refers to the case which a species of wood takes in preservative using vacuum or pressure process. The term for that is treatability. Okay, treatability. Which among is a type of kiln dryer ang gina-refer niya. Which among is a type of kiln in which the total charge of lumber is dried as a single unit. That is a compartment kiln. The total charge of lumber is dried as a single unit. Next, which among refers to the best natural resin used in varnish and paint manufacture derived from almasiga trees. Okay, best natural resin used for varnish and paint manufacture. So it's very easy. Manila kupal. Okay, the resin acquired from almasiga na trees. The process of converting hydrocarbon compounds at high temperature into solid residue-rich carbon. The answer for this one is destructive distillation or carbonization. So, medyo technical lang yung paminom, but mauna yung pagbuhat of uling. Okay, uling, pyrolysis or destructive distillation or carbonization. Ano siya? A defect characterized by irregular and abnormal shrinkage which occurs above the FSP or fiber saturation point, which is due to the buckling and crushing of the cell walls. That is collapse. Okay, collapse. A non-elastic rubber derived from latex of several members of genus Palacurium. Say answer ani. May Pelizar.
Gutta percha, sir.
Yeah, gutta percha. That's correct. So next, the term used to describe any distortion from the true plane that may occur in a piece of wood during seasoning. Okay, the term used to describe any distortion from the true plane. Okay, from the true plane. Kung flat na siya, ni distort, meaning ni twist or ni baw gamay, that may occur in the piece of wood during seasoning, during drying process. So that is warping. Okay, a warping might be what can be a form of bowing, type of warping na siya, bowing, cup, the form siya og cup, or ni twist or ni crook. So that is a form of warping. Which of the following families produces softwood species? Meliaceae, Podocarpaceae, Leguminaceae, Verbinaceae. Very clear, Podocarpaceae. Okay, these are softwood na family. The width of the cut made by sauce. The width of the cut made by sauce. So that's curve or so curve. Curve. Itong agi sa gabas. In making coconut trunks into lumber, the most efficient type of bandsaw blade that could be used is kining stellite tip saw blade. It's a type of saw na suitable for cutting coconut trunks. Stellite tip saw blade. Next, in sawmill, that part of the carriage used to hold the logs in place while being sawn. Saan ani? Shani.
Hook, sir.
No, it's a dog. Dog. Mao na siya kanang murag mo iilak sa carriage. Dagway ano niya, mura siya hook, mo siya mahawid sa lugs. Ihawiran niya ang lugs, murag mo hook siya sa lugs before siya ipadagan sa carriage. Part ni siya sa carriage kanang dog. Next, in wood processing plant, the equipment used to cut lumber into the desired length and remove the defective parts. So that is a trimmer. Okay, sa length ang ginakat ha. Remove, that is trimmer. Next, which among is a part of a plywood plant used primarily to peel logs into thin sheets of veneer? Sa answer ani? Ivy Rose.
Lathe, sir.
Yeah, it's a lathe machine. Okay, a lathe machine na siya. Lathe. So, mouth siyang ginagamit for rotary cutting. The chemical used in the cold caustic soda pulping process is sodium hydroxide, NaOH. Na siya. Cold caustic soda pulping, or also called as craft pulping process. Next, the method of grading primary process boards into standard classes of strength and as influenced by wood defects is termed as lumber grading. Okay? Lumber grading na siya. In drying wood, when the outer fibers are under tensile stress, the wood defect develops is case hardening. The wood develops what we call as case hardening. It's a form of defect, kining case hardening. It occurs when the outer fibers are under tensile stress. Kunat siya. The property of wood which makes it suitable for the manufacture of pencil slats. So what's the answer? The answer for this question is kining whittling property. Whittling, unsa siya kadali ma-slice. Okay, unsa siya kadali ma-slice. Ma-putol. Because important na siya sa pencil, especially ka na magtahal mo. So, that's whittling property. Dapat dali siya matahal. In kiln drying, when the dry bulb and wet bulb temperature is carefully set to dry a specific load of lumber without causing objectionable drying defects, we have a specific kiln schedule. In yarding logs, the man who unhooks the log at the landing is what we call as hook tender. Okay? Hook tender ang tawag na niya. Unhooks the log at the landing site. A path cleared of vegetation and stamped where the logs are yarded. So, that is a loop. A device used in removing the bark of logs. So, the answer for this one is a spud. So, mura ni siya og murag bara nga gamay nga bara. Gamiton siya pang debarking. Spud. The operating of moving logs the operation of moving logs from the stump to the landing with the use of donkey engine. So that is yarding. Next, the ability of wood to retain its natural size and shape when external load is applied is called Regine. Nasa Regine, wala man. Ivy Rose.
Stiffness, sir.
Yeah, stiffness. So, the stiffness, other terms sa stiffness ani Young's modulus or modulus of elasticity. Okay. Which of the following drying factors is not important in the satisfactory operation of kiln dryer? Again, which of the drying factors is not important in the satisfactory operation of kiln dryer? Answer is free water circulation. Dili kay na siya important ang free water. Ginagamit ang kiln dryer, ang water sa kiln dryer para mag-increase og humidity. Kadugayon man gud mababa ang humidity sa kiln dryer. So, magbutang ka og water, mag-spray og water to increase humidity. Next, the presence of blank will cause the death of fungi on the wood surface. So, that is very high moisture. Init. Ang painitan nimo, mamatay ang katong mga fungi. Which of the following does not indicate the presence of decay in wood? Normal color, absence of cluster, zone line, softening of wood. The answer is normal color. Okay? It does not indicate the presence of decay in wood. Which of the following process of wood treatment does not belong to the non-pressurized method? Preservation wood treatment does not belong to non-pressurized method. The answer is reweeping. Okay, reweeping. The ratio of the weight of a given volume of wood to the weight of the same volume of water at a temperature of 4 degrees. That is specific gravity. Okay, specific gravity. Specific gravity is the best indicator of strength properties. Okay, strength properties. The moisture content at which a piece of wood neither gained nor lost moisture when surrounded by air at a given relative humidity and temperature. Kasi answer ano eh? Erika.
Equilibrium moisture content, sir.
Yeah, EMC or equilibrium moisture content. That's correct. Meaning balance siya with the atmospheric na moisture. The process of deposition of the chemical constituents of the woody plant cell wall known as lignin. Morning kakitabuha deposition of chemical constituents of the woody plant cell wall known as lignin. Morning kakitabo during transition from sapwood into hardwood. Okay? Na-deposition sa lignin, meaning mo increase ang concentration sa lignin content sa cell sa wood. The answer for that is lignification. Okay? The deposition of chemical constituent of wood, lignification. The process of yarding logs into large pile before starting the next transportation move is technically called as cold decking. Okay? Cold decking siya. Next, blemishes in rattan are caused by certain fungi which heavily infect the rattan tissue with colored vegetative structure known as hyphae. Okay? The hyphae of fungi, hyphae, kanang murag kanang puti daw mag net like ang structure sa fungi. The hyphae of fungi can be at maturity can be a colored structure. Mo na mag-cause na dayon og blemishes or staining sa rattan. Fungal growth in rattan is inhibited when the moisture content of rattan poles is below 20%. Okay? Pag ang moisture gani sa even wood or rattan or bamboo, if more than 20%, favorable na siya sa growth sa mga agents like fungi. At below 20%, what's below kayo saturation point, very low ang moisture content, so dili kayo makatubo ang kana nga mga fungal growth. The changes in the moisture content of wood in service depends upon, of course, the equilibrium moisture content of the wood. Okay? The change ang iyang MC depende sa atmospheric na moisture. Kung uga kayo ang atmosphere, mag-release siya og moisture. Kung basa kayo ang atmosphere, mo-absorb siya og moisture. Okay? That's what happened in the wood. To attain efficiency and good result in kiln drying, we have to use high temperature and low relative humidity. The answer for this question is low temperature and low relative humidity. Kung magpauga ta og kahoy using a kiln dryer, dapat dili kayo sobra kainit. Kaya kung init kayo, ma-develop ang katong mga seasoning defects such as cracking, mga checks, or warping. So, dapat low ang temperature, at the same time, mubuan po ang relative humidity. Kaya kung taas ang relative humidity, dili mo ugam. Sige siya absorb og moisture. Dapat i-reduce ang relative humidity. So, that's it. So, that's the last question. So, do you have a question? Question? So, your post-test for this exam is tomorrow at 10:30 gapon to 10 to 11:30. Yun na may question. Rizar, Shihani, Erika, and Ivy Rose.
Wala na, sir.
Wala,
Sige.
sir.
Sige, if none, then we'll end there. And then, next week, mag-start na ta sa forest production management. Ang first area is biometry and surveying. Okay? So, sige. So, thank you. I-upload ko naman noon yung recorded sa YouTube ko na gyapon. Share na ko dito. Okay, thank you, Ivy Rose, Erika, Shahani, and then May.
Thank you, sir. Bye,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, sir.
Bye-bye.